Now, if you've been down here to the market already and walked along First Avenue, one thing you might have seen that might have confused you was there's a neon sign coming up on the right. This says Sanitary Public Market, and people wonder, what does that mean? That means there's actually no slaughterhouses in the market. All the meat sold here was slaughtered someplace else. All right, entering the fun zone. Welcome to the Pike Market. Past the seating area on the left, there's an information booth over here, and next to the information booth, there's an alley which goes down below and behind the market to the Market Theater. The Market Theater has a rule: you cannot chew gum in the theater. Next to the entrance of the theater is the second germiest tourist attraction in the world, after the Blarney Stone in Ireland. It is called the Gum Wall, where people stick their gum before they go into the theater. If you decide to go see the Gum Wall after the tour, I have a few sticks of gum left in case you want to make a contribution. The most important thing about the Gum Wall, you leave gum there. Do not pick it up. And if you do, don't tell me, because I will be grossed out. We're going to squeeze past this man with the black backpack. If he could just get off the street for just a second, I'll let him have the street back. I just got to squeeze past everybody. On the left over here, beyond the trucks, is the Pike Place Fish Market. That's where they throw the fish. What happens is people stand around like that guy in the long white t-shirt. He's waiting for somebody else to buy that expensive salmon. Then the fishmonger, the man or the woman with the orange aprons, they'll throw the fish across the counter. Then people behind the counter will throw it back to him, and then they'll do it several times simply for theatrics. It does not affect the taste or the price. And the market is open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6, and Sundays 10 to 5. You can come here before 10 or after 6, and a lot of businesses are open. Don't try this at home. Here on the left is the Athenian restaurant. Has great views of the bay, great seafood on the menu, and it was in the movie Sleepless in Seattle. Up the alley here to the right, Post Alley takes you to a place called Pike Market Chowder. They have excellent clam chowder, open at 11 o'clock. Through the double doors on the left will take you to Lowell's restaurant. Similar to the Athenian, it just wasn't in the movie Sleepless in Seattle. Then coming up on the right, doesn't have a line for once in front of it, is Mi-Sun Pastry. They sell humbaos, these Chinese buns full of different meats, for about $4. So if you can eat and walk at the same time, that's a good place to go for lunch. If you've heard of a kitchen gadget store called Sur La Table, it looks like Sur La Table. It started in Seattle. The flagship store is there on the right. If you like cheese and macaroni and cheese, Beecher's handmade cheese over here on the right can help you with that. You like peaches, you can get them over here on the left. If you like flowers, you can get them over here on the left between 5 and 15 dollars. Then coming up on the right is a French bakery, which for once does not have a line up the hill. It's called Rupanier, and usually like on Friday and Saturday, this line will go out the bakery and up the hill where the guys are coming down the house. Then coming up on the right is another pastry shop that does have a little bit of a line in front of it, and that's called Piroshki. Now they sell Russian pastries, sweet pastries, and savory pastries, and that line moves really quick. All there is inside the shop is the cash register and the pastries. Then coming up on the right is a long line down the sidewalk. It's actually a short long line down the sidewalk. Is the original Starbucks here on the right. Starbucks started in Seattle in 1972, selling cold coffee beans to businesses. Howard Schultz bought the company in 1987, started selling the Italian espresso drinks. This Starbucks sells souvenirs and merchandise found at other Starbucks. I hope these people are standing in line to go buy coffee, because I have news for them. The coffee in that Starbucks is the same as the other 2,500 other Starbucks in the greater Seattle area, and they all serve the exact same coffee. The exact same coffee. Did I say exact same coffee? 2,500 just in the area. We're going to make 2 left turns to go down to the waterfront. Now, right in front of us is a popular restaurant that's closed for a year called Seatown. There's really good seafood there. behind of you, there are 3 more floors of shops below where they throw fish at the market, full of clothing stores, art galleries, jewelry stores, hat stores, children's supply stores, magic supply stores, bookstores. People spend all day at the market, eating, shopping, shopping, eating, shopping, eating. Our economy thanks you for that. If you're up where they throw fish at the market, you want to come down to the waterfront, you can come down the stairs on the left, cross in front of me, go down the stairs to the right. Or you can take the elevator over here on the left as well. If you know of any attractive children, you might want to shop in the store on the left because they would love to. So come sit on the table, the waiters come by and dump a bucket of food on the table and let you pick it up. If you're interested in taking a harbor cruise or a Chittenden Locks, here on the right is Argosy Cruises right here, and they can take care of you. Then right past Argosy Cruises on the right is Red Robin. Red Robin started in Seattle in 1870. That's the original Red Robin here on the right. Then coming up on the right is a restaurant that was also closed for a year for COVID called Ivor's Acres of Clams. Ivor Haglund is a local personality who's no longer alive. He's got a full service restaurant here on the right and a walk-up window called the Fish Bar where we get fish and chips to go in particular. Here on the right, construction zone is the Washington State Ferry Terminal. The Washington State Ferry is part of our highway department, one of the largest ferry systems in the U.S., carrying about 45 million riders on 10 routes. 2 routes come to downtown Seattle. 1 route goes to Bremerton, which is a 60-minute ride. The other one goes to Bainbridge Island, a 30-minute ride. That's cheap entertainment if you're looking for something to do. It only costs $10 round trip to board the ferry, or less. And then you got to get off at the very end for security purposes. They'll let you turn right back around, come back on the same boat. Boats hold about 2,000 passengers. It's all general seating. We're going to make a left turn right here onto Yesler Way, which is named after Henry Yesler, who owned a lumber mill, which sat right in the middle of this intersection. And in Seattle's earliest days, he was the main employer. This neighborhood is our oldest neighborhood, Pioneer Square. And once I'm going to get past this panel truck, I'm going to try and pull over and tell you a little bit more about this neighborhood. This is not where we're having our break, but I just want to tell you about this area. It's kind of important for this part of the city. So I'm going to park right here, try to park right here straight as I can and get close to the curb. Now, in the earliest days of Seattle's history, all these buildings that we're surrounded by used to be made out of wood, because that was our most common, our most readily accessible resource. The buildings were made out of wood, the streets were made of wooden planks, the sidewalks are made of wooden planks. The water pipes, the sewer pipes, and even the fire hydrants are made out of wood, because that was our most common resource, like I said. But being made out of wood was actually not a very good idea, because on June 6th, 1889, 132 years ago, there was a 16-year-old Swedish immigrant named John Back. He worked at a cabinet shop that was 3 blocks to the left. Now, the first thing he would do when he would come to work is relight the furnace. The furnace would burn hot all day, and then overnight it would cool off to embers. He would throw a couple scoops of sawdust into the furnace to heat it back up. He didn't realize on that day that one of the scoops that he threw into the furnace